Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're listening to this the day we release, it is New Year's Eve 2025. So happy New Year to you if you are listening on New Year's Eve. And I have a really great episode for you today. I'm actually highlighting an episode from another podcast, which I've never done this before, but I found the women from Inspired Wellness Podcast, and we're doing a little podcast swap. So I am sharing one of the episodes that they did that I think is going to be so amazing for my listeners, especially now, this time of year. And I think this will really help everyone who needs to hear this in, this next coming year. I think it's very special, especially powerful for busy women. And I know a lot of the people that I speak to, a lot of the women I speak to identify as busy. So if you are looking to get stronger in the new year, but you don't want to be overcomplicating things or adding a lot to your plate, this episode is for you. It's focusing on strength training, why it matters, and how to actually prioritize it in this new year, even when our lives already feel full. So these women talk about how building strength supports your energy, metabolism, bone health, and long-term wellness, and why this is something worth making space for now rather than pushing it off any further. So you can find all the information linked to my show notes to hear more from these women of the Inspired Wellness Podcast. I recommend that you do that because they are fantastic. Just also a reminder, our giveaway that I mentioned last week will be live soon once we get into January. So make sure you are doing two things: following our show, Learning to Glow, wherever you listen, if it's Spotify or Apple, and then liking us and following us on social media, so Instagram or TikTok. And I will announce when it's live here and exactly what you need to do to show, to actually enter the giveaway. But all you have to do are those two things. I hope everybody has a safe, happy new year and the most wonderful 2026 yet. So thanks again and enjoy this episode.
Welcome to the Inspired Wellness Podcast, the show where we dive into what's really going on in your body as you journey through perimenopause and beyond. I'm the Inspired Wellness Coach, Michelle White, certified nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm here to empower you to take control of your hormones, your health, and your life. This is the place for real talk about your changing body with practical tips and expert insight on balancing your hormones naturally. From nourishing your body with the right foods to embracing lifestyle shifts that bring you back to feeling amazing, we're breaking the silence and smashing the myths. Get ready to reclaim your energy, your confidence, and your sense of well-being, because you deserve to thrive at every stage of life. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inspired Wellness Podcast. I'm the Inspired Wellness Coach, Michelle White, a certified nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm so glad you're here. This is the space where we have real supportive conversations to help women, especially those navigating perimenopause and menopause, find hormonal balance, feel amazing in their bodies, and live long, vibrant lives. And as always, I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Tabitha. She's curious, insightful, and always ready with the best questions to keep our conversations honest and practical. As always, thanks for joining me today, Tab.
Hello. I'm excited about today's episode.
Yes, as you know, we have a very special guest today to discuss a topic we've all heard about, but so many of us struggle to actually incorporate in a consistent way, and that's strength training. We know it's important for metabolism, weight management, and overall health as we age, but fitting it into real life can feel overwhelming or intimidating. That's why I'm thrilled to welcome Holly Nicholson, founder of Holly Nicholson Strong. Holly is a strength coach who helps women build both confidence in the gym and strength for everyday life. What sets her apart is her focus on making strength training approachable, sustainable, and realistic, whether you've never picked up a weight before or you struggle to stay consistent. She works with busy moms, career women, and everyone in between, showing them how strength training can be a powerful tool, not just for physical results, but also for long-term health and resilience. Today, she's sharing her expertise on how to get started, how much really makes sense, and how to find a rhythm that lasts. Holly, thank you for joining us and welcome to Inspired Wellness Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Super pumped to be here today, Michelle.
Yes, we're super pumped to have you. So to start off with, Holly, can you share a little about your background and what led you down the path of running a business focused specifically on women and strength training?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually a former teacher and trained school administrator, and I always taught fitness on the side. Long story short, my husband is a financial guru, and after paying for our wedding in 2009, he told me that we needed to cut my gym membership from the budget. So I went into my local YMCA and asked them, hey, can you teach me how to teach group fitness classes? I have this summer off. And that's how I could pay for my gym membership. I was 25 at the time, teacher off for the summer, no kids. So I learned. Then fast forward to 2012 when we had our first child. Crazy, she's almost 13. And I was a stay-at-home mom. We decided I was not going to go back to work. And I wasn't sure what to do with myself. So I had always taught group fitness on the side as a teacher. And so my group fitness schedule continued to I just added a lot more classes. And I was selling them out. Everybody was a member at the local gym. But we were running out of equipment for people to be able to take my strength classes at the local YMCA. So I'd have to turn people away. So I then moved from group fitness to building out a garage gym where I trained people one-on-one or in small groups while my kids were at preschool, all while just kind of doing this on the side while being a stay-at-home mom. And the intention was that I would do this. And then when my youngest went to kindergarten, I would go find a job as a principal and, go back into the schools. I love teaching. That is like my absolute passion is teaching. And now I just say that my classroom has just changed. So then we fast forward to 2020 when the pandemic happened and I couldn't teach my group classes anymore. And women weren't coming to train in my garage, just kind of dependent on their comfortableness. And I was stuck home with 3 little kids, homeschooling them, and I needed an outlet. So I went out into my garage and I opened it up to the world. I was like, hey, I don't actually know how to use Zoom, but let's just work out once a week together on Zoom. And people started joining. They'd be like buying, dumbbells off of Amazon and buying dumbbells from Facebook Marketplace and all of those things. I did it. I did the same thing.
Yeah. And once the gyms opened back up, I was like, okay, y'all, like, see you later. I'm going to go back to doing, what I do in person. And a lot of people were not local. A lot of people were like, well, I was a cardio junkie. And I heard this probably the most. I was a cardio junkie. I never lifted weights. I'm not going back to a gym because going to a gym and lifting weights is intimidating. Mm-hmm. Will you do this? And will you do it more? And I was like, maybe. I don't actually know. Sure. So I developed a program. It was summer of 2020. I think I called it, I just threw a name on it, Strong. It's become my logo. This was not the original logo. But we developed a program and I was like, I'll just try this like 6 to 8 week program. And I think I had like 30 or 40 people register that very first time. And after that was over, I was like, okay, now y'all should know how to do this. And they were like, no, keep doing it. So that was it. I just kept doing it. And it was just like, I kept getting more and more women because number one, the people that started with me stayed because they were like, this is a no-brainer. You tell me what to do every day. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't feel intimidated. I'm not commuting. You're giving me time back because not only am I not thinking about my workout, but now I'm not commuting to the gym and I'm getting results and I'm confident in lifting weights. So that's really kind of how it started. And then I personally made the mindset shift that like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to learn how to run an online business. I'm going to learn how to market. I'm going to learn how to grow this thing. And I'm not going back into the schools. This is my new classroom. And I'm going to teach women how to take care of their bodies in midlife and beyond.
I love
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's such a great story. And for so many reasons, I love so many things that you said. But one thing that really resonates for me is I've always been someone who has worked out and I've lifted weights. And it sounds like about the same time you were doing this, I was going to my Y at
YMCA in Dallas doing body pump at, 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's probably mimicking exactly what you were doing. But I'll tell you, to this day, it's hard to be consistent. And so I know, and now that, I'm actually doing one of Holly's programs, which we'll discuss a little bit more, just the having something consistently waiting for me. And I'm not like scrolling, trying to find the next YouTube video that what I should do. And what did I do yesterday? I can't even remember, or a couple of days ago. And so it sounds like you've really put together something that filled a really important gap for women. So,
And the really big thing too is I was fit. I was a trainer. I was a group fitness instructor. I taught 3 to 4 group fitness classes per week, and that was taken away from me. And when that was taken away from me, I had to change how I trained. And I then trained how I was writing these workouts. I was doing this with them, and it looked different than a group fitness class. It wasn't boot campy. It wasn't HIIT fitness. It was truly strictly strength training. And you know what happened? It changed my body. Like all of a sudden, I went from like, I'm a trainer, I'm a fitness instructor, and I don't really quite have this muscle definition that I should have, to I tapered back. Also, I was getting older, I tapered back on that high intensity stuff and honed in on progressive strength training, where I'm like, this week I'm lifting with 10s. Next week, I'm going to try to bump it up to 12s. And lo and behold, my body changed too. It was like, I've been in this for a long time, and I literally just watched. And it's so gradual, but I personally look back at pictures and I'm like, look at that. Like, look how much more muscle I have now and how much more definition I have now than I did, 5 years ago when I started this is unreal to me.
Yeah. And that's something we'll get in more too. But what draws me also to you, Holly, is the fact that you're making this sustainable for the real woman. I see a lot of people on Instagram and I'm impressed by them, but I look at them and it's not something that I want to do or feel like I can relate. So we'll get more into that, but that is something that I love that you do. And it just makes it real for all of us. So in what my audience, I feel like, is, and my clients and what they are in their lives. So, but one thing I do want to get started with is, I know that women a lot of time, when they think of working out, they picture cardio first, running, cycling, classes that really get their heart rate up. How do you see strength training fitting into an overall fitness routine? And what do you feel like is the right balance at our ages, in our 40s, as we're going through menopause and beyond, and even late 30s, between lifting, cardio, and just everyday lifestyle movements like walking?
Yeah, for sure. So I always say this, we always gravitate towards cardio because it's what we know, is what we think is easy. And we grew up probably raised by moms in diet culture that were like, hey, let's get on this. My jeans are a little tight. Let's get on the stair stepper. And I don't want to be that person that says that there's no place for cardio, because that's also not true. Our muscle, our heart is the biggest muscle in our body, and we still do need that, right? We still want also to be able to keep up with our kids and run and do those kinds of things. So cardio is important, but it's not the most important thing. So that is the message that I really feel strongly about getting across to women, is that when it comes to, am I strength training or am I doing cardio? It really is, like you said, it really is about the balance. But when you put them both on a scale, you need to have more minutes in your week strength training than you do cardio. I look at cardio as like a tool. You can bring it in and out of your life, and it's going to ebb and flow. In the summer, you might do more cardio. I like to ride my bike in the summer. In the winter, it's harder for me to do cardio because I hate a cardio machine. I'd rather be outside. That one's going to ebb and flow, whereas the strength training piece needs to be there week in and week out. And a lot of times what happens is we are so attached to these like Apple Watches that we're like, well, if I get, I go for a run, I burn 200 calories. And if I do a strength training workout, I'm only burning 150 calories. So I'm going to go with the one with the higher calorie burn. But what people don't understand is that the strength training piece has a longer calorie burn. We're burning calories for 24 to 48 hours after we are done with our strength training workout. And when we're done with our cardio workout, we're done burning calories. We're done right then and there. And women don't understand that because they're so attached to seeing this. Secondly, if you're doing the right kind of strength training and it's a progressive strength training program that is helping you add more muscle to your body is going to start burning more calories at rest. So you're all of a sudden making your body a much more effective machine, like a furnace. You're able to just put off more heat as the day goes on. It is the reason why you look at people. I say this all the time. You all have that friend that goes to dinner and she's like fit and she eats all the food. And you're like, how does she eat all that food? And I'm like, I want to put her on a InBody machine and tell you it's because she has 68 pounds of muscle and not 42.
Yeah.
You can be 60, you can both weigh the same amount on the scale. One person can have 68 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. The other person can have 48. Guess what? She's going to burn a whole lot more calories at rest all day long and keep her metabolism healthy as we get older than the person that doesn't have the muscle. So it is literally it is your body's 401k.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit just with that even comment and some of the comments you said about just muscle and it making you healthier. But can you talk about kind of the role that muscle plays in metabolism and longevity and how strength training can help with hormonal balance compared to those other forms of exercise?
Yeah, for sure. After we turn 30, we start to lose our muscle mass. It's like if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of times women come to me and say, my metabolism is slowing down. And there's research that says your metabolism does not slow down on its own until I think it's like maybe like 60, 61 or 63 or something like that. But what is actually happening is that muscle is literally the engine that's keeping that metabolism going. And once you turn 30, it's like 30, it's like 1% or something. I can't remember the exact research around it, but it's every year after 30, if you're not working to maintain and also using, you're going to lose that muscle mass. So if you start with, let's use the number 70, for example, if you start with 70 pounds of skeletal muscle mass and 1 year it goes down 69, I know that doesn't seem like much, but muscle is your body's metabolic engine. So that engine is getting smaller. It's not able to burn as much as it used to. So yes, it's slowing down, but it's not slowing down because you just automatically hit a number, 37, 35, 34. It's slowing down because you're starting to lose that muscle mass, which is making your body not as effective at rest. So it is the most researched thing, the only proven thing that can speed up your metabolism. Is the amount of muscle that you have on your body. Whether you have it or you don't have it, it is what speeds up that metabolism. And unfortunately, if we're not lifting, if we're not eating to maintain the muscle mass, we're losing it. Period. The end. And we lose it very, very quickly. Like people don't realize how quickly we use it. Combine that with your 30s, your late 30s, your kids start to get older. You're not chasing toddlers around anymore. You're Ubering your kids around all the time. You're sitting in the car. You're sitting at games. You're simply not as active as you used to be. So no wonder why we feel like our metabolism is broken. Our metabolism has stalled. Well, are you lifting weights? Are you still moving? Well, we got to do that because otherwise it is literally an uphill battle. I cannot preach it enough. And I do just feel like it's my job, it's my calling to break down the barriers around weight training, that we're not going to get bulky, but what we are going to do is we're going to keep our metabolism healthy. And there's now direct research between the amount of muscle mass a woman has on her body and brain health and longevity and disease prevention and injury risk. All of the things that are coming out about muscle mass is like, why wouldn't you put this on your body? I always say we would never step into retirement with no money in our 401k. Why are we willing to step into retirement with no muscle on our body? It's dangerous. It's physically dangerous for us.
It's a really good perspective. And I think that then, okay, so you have us convinced we're there. We want to do it. But women are so overwhelmed and intimidated by it for some reason. So if someone listening has never picked up a weight before, what do you think is the simplest way to get started here?
Yeah. Go get on Facebook Marketplace, go to the Dollar Tree. They have like $5 weights at the Dollar
Tree. Walmart, by the way.
You're going to grow out of those really fast. And that's the goal. But if you just start, because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get injured. So, okay, start with some 5 to 8 pound weights, literally get in the reps, start to gain the confidence. And then you're going to realize, okay, this is simpler than I thought. Number one, I don't have to lift heavy. I think a lot of times heavy is relative, right? My heavy versus your heavy is going to be different. And you don't have to lift barbells to make it challenging. You can lift dumbbells and make it challenging if you have the right program to follow that allows you to lift in a challenging way. You don't have to do 5 days. You don't have to do 6 days. I love a 4-day lifting program. 4 days is what I love. 4 days is what I think is doable for women our age. 4 days is what I believe allows recovery and allows the right mix of strength training and still allowing you to have some cardio time without too much overwhelm.
So you say 4 days. So what is that? Does that look like certain muscle groups or a certain amount of time for each of those days?
Yeah, I mean, well, I have built my protocol. I use what I have called the lift to lean system. So we do 4 days a week of lifting and we do 2 4-week cycles. So my whole program is built on 2 4-week cycles. So the first cycle is a lifting cycle. It's all lifting, but it's kind of the protocol of the workout looks different. So we do 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. And I love that. That is my absolute favorite. And then after that, we go into what I call a lean cycle, which is more of a metabolic cycle for women. So that is more a full body workout. But still, if you're not following a proper program, you shouldn't be squatting 2 days in a row. You shouldn't be doing a pull movement 2 days in a row or a push movement 2 days in a row. I think that's where the overwhelm comes from women, right? They're like, what do I do? When do I do it? When am I working different muscle groups? Or they believe that they can just get on YouTube and find random workouts and just follow those. Well, if you find, trainer Michelle today and you do her workout, and then you do trainer Tabitha's workout tomorrow, and then you do my workout the next day, that's not really a properly programmed workout program, right? Because you might have hit glutes in, all 3 areas of the glutes on Monday, and then Tabitha did it again on Tuesday, and then I'm doing glutes again on Wednesday. That's not appropriate. So that is the importance of following a program that is science-backed, that is programmed properly, and that is not random. Because I always tell my clients, like, if you're following a random workout on YouTube and you're just randomly picking your random workout from your app, you're going to get random results.
Yeah. I think I fall into that.
I see that
trap.
Yeah, a lot of people do because it looks good on social media. Like, it looks really fun. It looks like, oh, I'm doing all these combo moves. This is going to really get the burn up real quick. And the reality of it is that's not what's going to move the dial. It's really simple movements. And that's the other thing. When people are intimidated, they're intimidated because they see, somebody lunging and raising their arms and going overhead all at the same time. Yeah, I'd be intimidated with that too. That takes a lot of coordination. You're going to probably pull something in your neck when you do that. And I would be really intimidated too. So I think that that's where a lot of the overwhelm comes. We have a saying in our industry, and all of my colleagues agree with this. And we always say, if you actually trained like a bodybuilder or trainer, and I always say, I don't train bodybuilders. I'm not a bodybuilder. That's never my desire. If that's something you want to do, I have lots of colleagues I can refer you to. But if you trained like a trainer and or a bodybuilder, you'd be really bored because you do really simple exercises. We're not doing circus moves and multiple moves of combo moves. We are targeting the muscles, one muscle group at a time, so that we challenge them enough to grow, so that we have more muscle mass on our body, so that in turn our body becomes a fat burning machine. It's really, if you break it down that way, it's really simple. But the Instagram world shows us all the things.
And one thing I feel like I see is that, and I always tell people, start where you are. You can start slow, but at the same time, I think there's a trap of not progressing from that. So I think you've touched on get in a program, work with someone, focus on simple movements. All of these things sound like they really push past that in that way.
Yeah, and in my program and the way that I coach all my women is that, I watch people. I'm like opening their workouts, and I'm like, okay, you've been lifting these 8-pound weights for 9 weeks. Like, I know you can go more. And I teach something called reps in reserve. So if you're working out with me, I'm always like, okay, what is your reps in reserve? And if the workout says 12 reps right here, guess what? This is a mindset shift we all need. We need to let go of the perfectionism. You don't have to do all 12 reps. This is a life lesson. You don't have to do it all. What you need to do is, if you get to 11 and you're like, I can't do another one. That's exactly where I want you to be, because that's where your body changes. So when women are intimidated of the heavy lifting, it's not the heavy like it's not a certain weight we're going for. It's not, I want you to go get to squatting 100 pounds. I want you to get to a point where you're comfortable saying, I know what it feels like to fail at 10, to fail at 11. And next week I'm going to keep track of that. And next week I'm not going to go back to what's comfortable. I'm going to pick up those same weights, and I hope I can get 12.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point. And I'll remember that when I'm doing my workout today with your program. Yes. Because I do feel like I want to get all 20 in, but at the same time, I know the importance of, or what happens when you go to failure. And I will say, I have a cousin who does Holly's live classes, and I just talked to her and I told her I was interviewing you, and she did say, oh, in the live classes, she'll stop and be like, Katie, you're cheating. You're not going all the way down. You're not doing it right. So I will say Holly does watch and give tips on those live classes, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Yes, I sure do. Because, that's where it happens. And that's where the magic happens. Number one. Number two, that is something in my business that I will never let go of. People are like, I have hundreds of people in my membership, and and the percentage that actually show up live is very small. Like 25, 30 women that show up live in the morning. That's it. And my husband's like, are you ever going to get rid of that piece of it? Because it's not really a difference maker in your business. I'm like, no, because it's a big enough sample size that I can be like, Katie, stop cheating. And well, if cousin Michelle is also cheating, she's going to watch that recording and she's going to know not to cheat. Or if I'm giving Tabitha a cue about a lateral raise and you're watching the recording, you're like, oh my gosh, I was just doing it the same way Tabitha does. That it gives enough sample size that I know what women are doing wrong, good or bad, that I can give true in time, real life.
And I like that you do it, because some people do need that live community. And then some people like me need to have it like whatever time of day I have my 30 or 45 minutes to go run up and do it. So I think that's awesome that you offer that. So my next question for you is, how do you feel about women using supplements to support overall health and building muscles?
Yeah, I love creatine. It's actually one of the most researched supplements out there. And now they're saying there's lots of research out there. I was just reading a study the other day about the benefits of creatine in brain health and being able to maintain, we talked about, in the beginning of this episode, the ability to maintain that muscle mass. So even if you're not lifting, start taking the creatine. It's going to help you with maintaining that muscle mass. Like I do love it. When it comes to supplements in general, this is really what I teach. A lot of people come to me and say, what supplement should I take? What should I be? Should I be fasting? Should I be taking supplements? Should I be doing? And my philosophy is those are little rocks. You have to get the big rocks in place first, because if you don't, the little rocks, like the supplements, aren't going to make as much of a difference. They're just the icing on the cake. So my big rocks, are you lifting? Are you sleeping? Are you getting outside? Are you simply moving your body? Are you eating vegetables? And are you eating protein? And if you are not doing those things, you have to nail those big rocks first before you can even have a conversation with me about all the little rocks, about the supplements, about the fasting, about should I be cycling my carbs? I'm like, well, we can't even cycle our carbs until we know how many carbs we're eating, or if we're eating enough, or, all of those things. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is you nail those big rocks and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually don't feel as bad as I thought I did.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I feel like that the basics, you got to get the basics down before you start doing these other things just for tweaks. So I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. So I also wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about weight loss versus fat loss and how you feel about using a scale as an adequate measurement.
Yes, I understand that some people are motivated by the scale, and some people, it ruins their day. So first and foremost, you have to know how you feel. You have to evaluate your relationship with the scale, period, the end. If it frustrates you every morning, then why are you still getting on it every morning? If there's somebody in your life that frustrates you every time you talk to them, stop talking to them. Same thing with the scale, right? Like same exact thing with the scale. So I actually do, Michelle, you're going to listen to this tomorrow. I actually do a walk and talk in my free challenge or in my paid challenge where we talk about exactly this, the difference between weight loss and fat loss. There is a huge, huge difference. And I always say to people, if the number on the scale did not matter, would you be okay with your jeans fitting differently, with them being looser, with you looking better in a tank top? If you took the scale out of the equation, would you be okay with that kind of result? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Well, that is the difference between weight loss and fat loss. When we are chasing weight loss, the scale simply drops. That's it. Your body composition may not actually change. You can be, I hate this term and I don't love that I use it, but the best way to say it is you can lose weight and be skinny fat. You really can. And that's not how most of us want to look. And that's what can happen when we are simply just chasing weight loss. The difference when we chasing fat loss is we are still eating in a way to maintain our muscle mass, number one, and we're eating in a way to change our overall body composition. So, you can eat less calories and you can lose weight, but you can eat the right calories in the right food and you can lose fat and you can change your body. I see this a lot with women who come to me from certain theory type of fitness. That's like a boutique fitness where they run a lot on the treadmill. They lose a lot of weight at first, but they are not changing their body composition because they're doing a lot of high intensity cardio, sprinting, and just simply trying to eat less food. And this happened years ago when I first started nutrition coaching, where several women came to me from this studio, I guess what you call it. And they were like, I'm losing weight, but my body's not changing. And I'm eating less calories and all of this is happening. And at that point, I stopped taking on nutrition clients that weren't willing to do my program because I understood that you have to strength train and eat in a way that work together in order to truly lose fat. Otherwise, if you're just eating less and not doing the right workouts, you run the chance of just losing weight. And I'm not here to put unhealthy metabolisms out there. I'm not here to mess up hormones by doing that. So you just made your body less effective. That's what I always tell people. If you're chasing just scale weight, you're going to make your body less effective at building.
Well, I think as, children of the 80s and 90s just have to keep hearing that and keep hearing that because we know it, but we got to keep hearing that to unlearn it. And I think that our listeners are really here because they do want to feel better in their skin and they want to live longer, healthier lives. So we just got to keep saying it and hitting on those points. And I think that we'll get there.
I always say I tell people this all the time. I have all kinds of little hacks that I use with my clients. So I'm like, number one, if the size of your jeans bothers you, if you put on a pair of jeans and you feel good in them and you feel like you look good in them, but the number pisses you off, cut the tag off. Simple. Nobody has to know your jean size. And we all go shopping. We all know that you can wear one size at one store and 4 sizes at the other store, but we let it ruin our day. Nobody has to know your jean size. I mean, you go to shopping places and people bring you jeans. Tell them not to tell you what size it is.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I love it.
Your husband doesn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
When is the last time our partners asked us, hey, what size jeans we wear?
That's the last thing they want to hear us talk about too. I try so hard not to say anything about my looks or my size to my husband because I'm like, how gross is that? I don't want him to say that to me.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, Holly, I know this conversation is going to resonate with so many women who want to make strength training part of their lives, but need it to feel realistic and sustainable. And you've given us practical tools and encouragement and a reminder that it doesn't have to be overwhelming to start or stay consistent. And I know that you've left our listeners very interested in what you have to offer. So can you just briefly talk a little bit about your programs and how they can connect with you and follow along with Holly Nicholson Strong?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a brand new Strong session starting on September 1st. So it is called the Fall Strong Reset. So Strong is my overarching theme. It is my 8-week program. I run anywhere from 4 to 5 Strong sessions a year. And so this fall we are starting on literally resetting. So if you didn't have fitness this summer, you lost it, or you haven't lifted weights in a long time, I invite you to come pick up the weights with us. We have a great community of women. There are 4 workouts per week that I offer inside my Full Strong program. We follow that lift to lean protocol. So the first 4 weeks, we are doing 2 upper body days, 2 lower bodies. And then the second 4-week cycle, we do the lean protocol where we do 4 full body workouts. Again, properly programmed. You're not going to be, overworking, getting hurt, any of that kind of thing. It's all about setting you up for sustainability and making it a lifestyle. And then after the 8-week program is over, I always invite the women who are ready to make this a true lifestyle change into my Strong VIP membership. And that is literally your lifestyle. That is your go-to one-stop shop for your fitness and nutrition solution. I developed the Strong VIP program because I had all these women completing these sessions and they would be like, when's the next one? When's the next one? And they kept wanting to sign up and they just kept signing up. And I said, I'm just going to make it easy for y'all. You don't have to always sign up anymore. It's just, automatic. You can sign up for the year. You can sign up quarterly. You can sign up monthly. And so those are the 2 options that I run. And we work out, you can work out live with me at 5:45 in the morning.
Eastern time. That's the thing. Yeah.
Eastern time. I get up Eastern time. And if early mornings aren't your jam, that workout goes right into the recording and right into our app. And then you can follow along at any time. It's super flexible. So, if today was a leg day and you don't quite get it done, you can move it to tomorrow. If you can't get 4 workouts in a week, 3 workouts is really also great. So you can follow me at Holly Nicholson Strong on Instagram. I'm Holly Nicholson Wellness on Facebook. And my website is hollynicholsonstrong.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and talking about this and making it
good.
doable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely all the women lifting the weights all the time.
I'm going to start getting consistent.
And it's so confusing. The world is so confusing out there. And I know we all open our phones and there's a million things and there's a bunch of information and it's really hard to navigate what's true and what's not. And I really try to be the real life, no BS coach out there on the internet that's just going to give it to you as it is. And I'm going to tell you the truth. And if there's something I don't know, I'm going to go find out for you.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. And we can't wait to follow along with you and see where this goes. And hopefully everybody will go out there and find you. So thanks, Holly.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Every day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.